Okay, so they are the scripts actually. JavaScript programs are called as scripts. They can be written in the HTML page and will be executed by the web browser. Whenever we load the page, automatically it will execute that particular script. So how the web browser will execute the JavaScript means, because every browser internally consists of a JavaScript engine. Okay, so the JavaScript engine is like a plugin to every browser, and as a choice of ours, we can be able to enable or disable the JavaScript in our web browsers. So if you disable the JavaScript, you no more be working on the JavaScript. I mean, you cannot run the scripts which are belongs to your web pages. Okay, so that is the only drawback at the client side. But whenever you have the JavaScript at server side, so there are a lot of advantages, and some things, some disadvantages are also there. As only the client side JavaScript can able to grab the user attention. I mean the events. It can able to grab the user events. Okay, but server side will not get the events. So whatever the user event triggered at the client side, that should be read by the web browser. The web browser JavaScript should read that, and it has to perform the instructions or the commands given in the particular function or in the block. Okay, and just JavaScripts are just executed as a plain text. They'll be just executed like a plain text, because unlike C, Java, JavaScript is not going to be compiled language. This is not a compiled language. So this is directly a parsed language. So JavaScript can be directly parsed by the JavaScript engine. So it directly translates a plain text as, just a second. Okay. So they'll be just executed like a plain text, and they don't need any compilation. Okay. No compilation required. Okay. Especially in this aspect, the JavaScript is a different language from C++, Java, okay, .NET, other platforms. So when we compare with other languages, the JavaScript is a different from in this aspect, especially at the compilation aspect. So no compilation here, just only parsed language. So that's why this is called as a scripting, not like a programming language, but like a scripting language. Okay, yeah. And JavaScript is a very lightweight programming language. As I can say one thing mainly, the difference between the lightweight and heavyweight. For heavyweight programming, the variables, so strictly we need to follow the data type of a variable. Like once if we declare a variable with a data type, we cannot use the same variable name for other data types in the same scope. Okay, let us take in the Java, if I declare int x is equal to 100, uh, can I declare immediately after the int x, can I declare one more variable x which is like a string? Is it possible? Not possible, right? Okay, but in the this is because the Java is a strongly typed programming language. Very strictly it follows the data types for variable. Not only just the data type, for the given variable, whatever the x is there, initially we have assigned integer, then immediately you are going to assign the string, which is not good. Okay, you should not do like that. Okay, even once if we assign the x to a integer, we cannot be able to store the string also. Okay, x is an integer data type which is confined for integer types only. So that is a strongly typed. But in loosely typed programming like JavaScript, variables can be declared by var keyword or by let keyword. This is the latest one. Nowadays, the modern JavaScript having the let keyword. Of course, var keyword, let keyword, I'll let you know what is the difference when we start the variables concept here. Okay, so you can declare variables in JavaScript either by the keyword var or by the keyword let. Okay, any of them, either var or let. But what is the type of the X? The type of the X is integer. At the very next line, the type of the X is going to be string. Then what is the exact type of X here? The X at this line is an integer. The same X at the next line is going to be a string, because JavaScript is a loosely typed programming language. So there are no keywords for you to declare data type with the int, float, double. So we don't have these keywords in the JavaScript language. Okay. So the JavaScript language is loosely typed programming language or scripting language. So which will not be particularly confined to a particular, a variable will not be confined to a particular data type here. You should declare the variables either by the var keyword or let keyword. That's it. Okay. And the type of the data type is going to be dependent on what type of data we are going to store on that variable. Got it? Yeah. Next. So, so nowadays the JavaScript is also available at the server side. Okay. So not only it executes not only in the browser, but also it will be executed at the server. Okay. On any device, let us take a tablet, a smartphone, laptop, PC, and a server. Okay. Now JavaScript can be able to run at anywhere. And nowadays the smartphones are integrating the JavaScript engine also. We are able to run some hybrid applications. So in the very like near future, actually we are able to see some hybrid applications. Nowadays we'll be having only native applications. For native means for Android, if you used to develop the Android apps with only the Android programming language, then that is going to be a native Android. If you're able to develop the iOS with the iOS coding, iOS program like C++ or VC++ programming, so that's going to be a native iOS programming. But if you're able to make a JavaScript, if you're able to develop applications with the JavaScript, then that is going to be hybrid application, because you're not using Android, you're not using iOS, you're just using JavaScript. The JavaScript is going to be translated in the Android, like Android programming, and the same thing is going to be translated to iOS in the iOS environment. In the Android environment, the JavaScript is going to be converted as Android coding, okay? And in the iOS, that is going to be converted into the iOS environment. Got it? So there we have a common platform to develop multiple applications. Suppose if I'm there, I have my business. For my business, I would like to develop Windows app, Windows application, as well as Android and iOS. I would like to develop 3 different apps for my business. For example. So I need to hire Android team, iOS team, as well as Windows team. So rather than why can't I go for a common platform that which can be able to easily translate it to the native? So that is what the hybrid. So the common platform, what I'm speaking about, that is JavaScript. Okay. Very near future, we are definitely able to see that hybrid applications in the real time. Okay. Nowadays, Flipkart Lite is there. That was purely written on Android. Flipkart app is there. Flipkart Lite app is also there. There are 2 apps for Flipkart. One is native app, another is hybrid app. The Flipkart Lite was an Android app, native app, which was developed by using JavaScript framework called Progressive Web App, which was developed by the Google. Okay. So not only we can translate the JavaScript to Android, but also we can translate to iOS, we can translate to the Windows as well. So where that is going to be a centralized part. Okay, the future is a JavaScript. If you know the JavaScript, you're able to develop the mobile applications as well as desktop applications. That's why JavaScript engine is going to be the core part in your operating system. I mean, even in your mobile phone operating system or the desktop operating systems. Okay, even smartphones is also going to integrate the JavaScript engine for the hybrid app support. Okay, hope you understand this. Next, so like JVM, What is a JVM? Java Virtual Machine. In the same way, we have a runtime environment here for JavaScript that is called JavaScript Engine. Some people used to call it as JavaScript Virtual Machine, but some people used to call it as JavaScript Engine. But the traditional word is the JavaScript Engine. Better to call it like JavaScript Engine. Okay. So every browser will have the JavaScript engine internally. Okay. Then how does the JavaScript engine exactly works? One of the most important interview question, how JavaScript engine works. Myself, I have faced this question a lot of times from Desi guys only, but not from white. So first of all, the program is written as plain text. We should write the program in the plain text. And definitely that should be pre-processed by the JavaScript engine. And once after writing the program, and the engine reads the program and converts into the machine code. Then whenever it converts into the machine code, the code runs fastly, very fast. So JavaScript runs very fast when we compare with the traditional programming languages, because this is a scripting and there are no data types. Okay, and there are no keywords. A lot of keywords like a Java, C or C++. In the C++, Java, we will be having a lot of keywords. But in JavaScript, we are having very less keywords. The keywords have been reduced in terms of the data types as well. So there is no int keyword, there is no float, double, char, boolean, okay, string. These keywords are not available here in the JavaScript. Okay, the API is going to be pretty low, pretty optimized. So I told you two types of JavaScript. One is browser-side JavaScript and another is client-side JavaScript. Let me tell you what the browser-side JavaScript will do. And this should be very clear here for us. Browser-side JavaScript, what it does. The first point. So when we have a HTML page here at the browser side, we should be able to change the content and we should be able to change the styles. Simply, I can say that is called DOM. The DOM means document, document object model. This is an interface. DOM is an interface which lies in between the JavaScript engine and your HTML page. Okay, it will be acting like a mediator between the JavaScript and the HTML page. So whatever the content changes you'd like to perform by using JavaScript, that will be done by the DOM interface. Without DOM interface, we cannot get the content, we cannot update the content, okay, and we cannot get the styles and we cannot change the styles. You might be experienced with the web pages like if you click on a button, something is going to be happen to your content, like minimizing, maximizing, or getting some background color, or text is going to be glittered, or when if you click on that some particular content is loading on demand, the content is loading when you click on a button. So basically these interactions, user interactions, can be read by the DOM interface. Okay, so what you can do with the DOM means can change the styles and content. Okay, so we can change the styles and content in the HTML pages. So the browser side JavaScript will have the support of DOM. So the DOM can change the styles of an element as well as can change the content of an element. can add new elements, can delete the existing elements. Okay, so adding, removing, updating uh, of HTML elements. Okay, that will be possible only by the DOM interface. Okay, next. Um, Triggering the events. So user have a lot of like a hardware interface here to raise the event. Let us take a keyboard or a mouse and a screen, window, everything is going to be an event here. Okay, even if you touch this, that is going to be a screen interface. If you click on a mouse, that is a mouse event. If you press a key, there is a keyboard event. Okay, so the browser side JavaScript not only just having the DOM interface support, but also it can trigger events like mouse events, key events, and touch interface as well. Next. Okay, so it can make use of the functionality of Ajax. It supports the Ajax functionality. You know what is an Ajax? So without sending the complete page request, you can just load the data from the server side partially, but not fully the content. Suppose, for example, let us take a web page which will be having some header, footer, and the middle will be having some content. We'll have some content in the middle. The header and footer is going to be the common, and the middle content, you would like to change only the content in the middle, but not the header, but not the footer. So why should we load the header and footer always, where if it is the same for all the web pages, why should we load it again and again? So just better to load the content, only the required content, what exactly you're looking for from the server side. Okay, so how can you grab that content? How can you update the DOM only partially? So the just we are loading the content partially, and we're pulling the content to the web page. Okay, so that will be possible only by the Ajax here. The asynchronous request, we can make an asynchronous request where the request and response will happen at the same time. So once if we have raised some event, um, while raising the event itself, the response will be started from the server. So that is the functionality of Ajax. So earlier without Ajax, we need to send the complete request to the server, then we have to wait until the server responds to your request. But nowadays, when we started some event raising, the output will be, the server will start at the output. So at the same time, your machine is able to, is capable of receiving the response, as well as at the same time it is able to send the request also. So the request and response will happen at the same time asynchronously. That is going to be an Ajax. But the exact definition of Ajax is asynchronous JavaScript and XML. This feature was introduced in for the sake of JavaScript and XML features, where the JavaScript would like to get the information from the XML. I told you the HTML is for presenting the information, XML to store the information. Basically, XML is used for storing the information only. It's like a database. And asynchronously, to get the data from XML by using JavaScript, the Google have developed this Ajax feature. But nowadays, XML is no more. No one is using XML for data storage. We have an advanced data structure called JSON. It's a JavaScript object notation. Soon I'll speak about that one also. Before that, we need to complete the JavaScript objects and everything. Let me finish the objects, then I'll discuss about the JSON. Okay, JSON is just like an array, but it's a typical array. I'll let you know, it's a strange. Okay, so we'll be having the feature, Ajax feature, as well as triggering the events and DOM support at browser side JavaScript. And next, then um, using cookies. Yes, cookies are the goodies actually at the web browsers to store the information about the visitor, just a meta information or some little bit information about the user. Better to store the user information at the cookies which are locating at the browser side. Yes, of course. The JavaScript at the browser side can be able to manage the cookies. It can able to create a cookie, it can update the cookie, and it can delete, and it can search for a cookie. Okay, so cookies are the best way to store the information about the user, okay, in order to increase the user experience, I mean visitor experience of your web to your web page. Okay, for your web pages, if you'd like to increase the user experience, better to store the user wishes and what kind of information he would like to have daily, okay, and what are his interests. Better to store it in the form of a cookie, okay, and try to enhance the experience, web experience, by using these cookies for a web client. Okay, so better to use the cookies to increase the experience, user experience for your websites. And the latest technology, the feature which was enabled in the HTML5, that is called local storage. This is not like cookie, but similar to cookie, will be having local storage. Okay, I'll discuss what is a cookie, exactly what is the difference between cookie and the local storage. So we need to discuss about that. I'll let you know the difference whenever the time comes here. But for now, just assume that the local storage was introduced in the concept from the HTML5, and cookies, they're traditional. So whenever we have the web browsers available on the market, at that time itself, the cookies are available with the web browsers. Because the HTTP protocol, we are going to make HTTP protocol to the to the server. The HTTP protocol is a stateless. It cannot maintain any state. It cannot store information about any user. So better way to store the information of an user. Okay, for assume that once if you have login to the Gmail on your web browser, if you shut down and restart the machine, so what will happen again if you type the gmail.com, will it be redirected to your Gmail inbox page or not? So how does your browser knows that you have already logged in? Because it stores the information in the form of cookie. So if you are using that machine, so why should I log in and again? Once if I log into that, my Gmail, every time that should be open automatically even if I type the URL. So that will usually happens with the cookies. So because your information was stored in the form of cookie at your browsers only. Okay. So because the reason is a HTTP protocol will not store any information. In order to make the stateless protocol, HTTP protocol to the stateful by storing information, okay, we need to use the cookies or the local storages. Local storage is the best thing I can say. Okay, they are very faster than cookies, but there are a lot of advantages with the cookies over the local storages, and local storage will have some other advantages. Anyways, no need to argue, but just proceed with the concept. That's it. Then, so these are the things what the JavaScript at client side can do. I mean, at the web browser. So what the server side JavaScript can do. Sorry. What the JavaScript at client side cannot do. I mean, the browser cannot what? First is it cannot manage the files. Sorry, it can't manage the files. It cannot create a file. Okay, and it cannot open a file. It cannot read a file. It cannot delete a file. Okay, file for the file operations, the JavaScript engine at the browser side don't have any permissions to access the hard disk. First of all, you don't have any permissions to access the hard disk. But modern JavaScript will have that features. Still, it needs some permission from the user. Without user permissions, user privileges, it cannot be able to manage the file operations. Even the modern JavaScript. Okay, and requires permissions to access uh, the microphone or speaker. For example, let us take the Skype. Skype is an application, is a desktop application or mobile application, whatever it is. When we install the Skype, when we try to make a call, it will directly access your camera as well as your speaker and mic. But when if you use the same Skype over the web, it needs some permissions from your side. Okay, unless if you give the permissions to the web-based applications, they cannot be able to use the cameras, mic, and speakers, etc. So whatever the interfaces we have, the camera interface, the mic, your speakers, so these things can be accessed by the JavaScript only after user permission. Okay. Next, uh, there is a thing called same origin. Just keep in mind this same origin policy. I'll speak about it when I discuss about the Ajax. Okay. Right now, you can't understand the same origin policy. For example, if my domain is creativemacho.com, I would like to request to some other domain like facebook.com by using Ajax programming. Okay. By using Ajax, I'm just requesting to the Facebook from my domain. So, the JavaScript Ajax can make the request when they are in the same origin, but not in the different origin. When you are when you're sending the request to the other origins, like you're moving out of my domain to the Facebook domain. If you're moving out of the domain, if your request is crossing over the domain, it needs some permissions again from the user side. That would be a problem. Okay. So anyways, I'll show you what is the same origin policy at the time of Ajax. And next, um, yeah, so these are the basic drawbacks that browser-side JavaScript cannot do. It cannot manage files, and it requires permissions to access the speaker, microphone, camera, and issues with the same origin policy when we are doing Ajax requests. So that would be the problem. Just a second. So these are the things what the browser-side JavaScript can do, and browser-side JavaScript cannot do. Okay. Then next. Then what makes a JavaScript unique? Okay. What makes JavaScript unique? Why it is unique? Because we can directly integrate this code in the HTML. Okay. Integration with HTML or CSS. Both. Okay. Then see, if it is HTML, why not CSS? Then so things will be very simple with the DOM, interface. Any tough task can be easily done with the DOM interface, and it's a independent platform, independent language supported by all browsers. Every browser should support the JavaScript engine. Okay, and still there are some other languages like which are going to be transpiled into JavaScript. You might be heard about the TypeScript. Have you heard about the TypeScript? Just a second. TypeScript. Have you heard about this? Which was developed by the Microsoft. Actually, the TypeScript is a unique syntax. By using the TypeScript syntax, you'll be able to get the JavaScript coding, as TypeScript should be compiled. When you compile the TypeScript, that will be transpiled into the JavaScript. Like a TypeScript will be having other scripts like coffee script is there. Mostly the coffee script will be used by the Ruby techies. Okay, basically the Ruby is a programming language. Again, it's a server-side programming language. The Ruby developers used to have the coffee script always, because Ruby is very compatible, very much compatible, and it's going to be having full integration with the coffee script. So that difficult things can be done very easy. So these are nothing but like a framework. TypeScript is a superset. That is like a framework. CoffeeScript is a framework. Okay, but it doesn't seems like a JavaScript coding, but they'll have their own syntax. That syntax should be translated into JavaScript when if we compile them. If you write a TypeScript program, the TypeScript program should be compiled to JavaScript. If you write a CoffeeScript, and that should be compiled to JavaScript. Okay. Yes, of course, the TypeScript for the TypeScript and CoffeeScript, they'll be having their own compilers to translate them to the JavaScript coding. Okay, so different languages are there like JavaScript, but finally at the end, from the TypeScript, the JavaScript should be produced, as well as from the CoffeeScript, the JavaScript should be produced. This is not called translation. This is called transpile. Transpile. Okay, the code is going to be transpiled into the JavaScript. That's it. So what is about the JavaScript here? It's a browser only language. I can tell you which works only at the browser, and the modern JavaScript works at the server side as well. And JavaScript is an unique and which can be directly integrate with the HTML and with the CSS. And there are many other frameworks based on the JavaScript which are going to be transpiled to JavaScript. Okay, like CoffeeScript and TypeScript like that. And whereas the JavaScript is a loosely typed programming language, but not strongly typed. So as I told you that int, float, char, double, okay, these keywords are not available in the JavaScript. So if you'd like to declare any variable in the JavaScript, please declare them either with the var keyword or let keyword. Let is introduced newly in the ECMA 5. Now we are using JavaScript 5, the version 5. You should not say the JavaScript version 5. You should say ECMA script 5, ECMAScript 5. Okay, this is the original name of JavaScript. At the time they introduced the ECMAScript, the Java was famous. So, and they thought that this would be the brother to the Java programming language. Like some keywords like a new keyword, you know, the constructor, these things. For these things, actually, they motivated from the Java. That's why they have renamed the ECMAScript as in JavaScript. So the public name was JavaScript, but for the team JavaScript, the actual name of it is they are going to be call it like a ECMA script, but not JavaScript. The public name was a JavaScript. So the current stable version is ECMA script 5, as well as ECMA 6 is also available. Okay, and ECMA 5 will be having the object oriented features as well. You know, we can able to write the classes, interfaces, implements keyword, extends keyword, public, private, protected, whatever we have in the Java. Almost all the keywords are now available in the JavaScript. So the object-based JavaScript programming is going to be converted as object-oriented JavaScript. Okay, that's why I told you the future is going to be the JavaScript. Got it? So any questions so far? Any doubts?
No.
Okay. Then, so what is the runtime? Like what are the development environments required here to write and to code the JavaScript here? So required development environment. What are the required environments means? First of all, you should have an IDE or a normal editor. IDE or a normal editor, but not Notepad. Better than Notepad. At least you should be able to have some suggestions like Notepad++, Sublime, or brackets IO. Okay, these editors are good, fair and good enough as a normal editors. And for when coming to the IDE part, you may use the Eclipse or NetBeans or Storm. PHP Storm is there. That is regards to PHP programming. I know only about Eclipse and NetBeans. One more thing is there. Yeah. This one. Visual Studio, which is also good for UI development. Visual Studio. Suppose if you are able, if if you are deployed for Microsoft projects, you should use a Visual Studio only. They don't allow any other development environments except the Visual Studio. Okay, because if you got a chance to work with Microsoft, or if you got a chance to work as a client to the Microsoft also, you should have to develop the things by using Visual Studio. So IDE or the normal editor, that's your wish. And runtime environment is a browser, just a browser, any web browser. Okay, so got it. Then uh, you know what are the basic building blocks for a programming language? I think I told you at the time of Java. Sorry, one more thing here. We need a web console here, which is required. Of course, you can get the web console by pressing the F12 button. Just go to the any web browser, press the F12 button. You can see a console at the bottom. So that console is which is used to run the scripts as well as to show the outputs from the partial outputs from the script. So web console which is required. Okay, let it be. I'll show you when we start the programming part. So then what are the basic building blocks for any programming language? First of all, I could say that variables, then data types, and then operators and flow controls. Of course, the variables, data types, operators, flow controls are there in the JavaScript because it's a language. It's not a markup language. It's not a cascading style sheets. It is a script. It is a programming where it has some keywords, where it has some variables, data types, okay, operators and flow controls. So data types in the sense, not explicit data types. Internally it will declare the type of that. But there are no explicit data types. You should not declare any variable with the explicit data type keyword like int, float, double, because JavaScript is a loosely typed programming language. It's not a strongly typed programming language. Okay. Then, so how to start the programming here with JavaScript? So why JavaScript is unique means the first point is integration with the HTML CSS. Okay. Now where should I write the program? In your HTML, you might be having a head section. Either at the head section, you can start writing a tag called script tag. Okay. Or you can write the script either at the head section or at the body section. Anything is fine. Okay. You can write it at the head or body. That's your wish. So wherever you'd like to write the script, you just write the script over there. So along with the script tag, what are the additional attributes required for the script? Let me tell you two attributes here. One is type attribute. The type is equal to text or JavaScript. We used to have the type is equal to text or JavaScript. This one. One more, that is language equal to JavaScript. See, there are a lot of scriptings. Of all the scriptings, you are using the JavaScripting. How can you tell that web browser that is a JavaScript programming means? By declaring the attribute called language. But nowadays all the web browsers supports scripting as a default scripting as JavaScripting. So that's why no need to mention that language as a JavaScript. We can completely forget nowadays this one. By default it takes a scripting as a JavaScript language. Okay. Then if you are using a web browser which supports HTML4 like older browsers, I mean less than or equal to IE6, IE8. Let us take the Internet Explorer 8 or Chrome 6 or Chrome 5 version. Nowadays we have Chrome 8 also, version 8 is also available there. The fifth version of Chrome and the eighth version of Internet Explorer. So they don't support the HTML5. That supports only the HTML4 version. Okay. So when you're developing the projects or applications based on HTML4, it's better to make the type as text or JavaScript. Without giving this attribute, the script will not be worked at HTML4 versions. But the HTML5, nowadays every browser supports the HTML5 by default. Simply I can say the 4 is no more now. Completely your web browsers, whatever the web browsers you are using right now, those web browsers supports only the HTML5. So that's why even no need to give the type as well and no need to provide the language. So completely you can just forget about both of these things. But if it by chance if you get any opportunity to work on a project which is older than IE6 or IE7, but make sure the type must be there and language must be there along with your script tag. So within the script tag you should render them. Script type is equal text or JavaScript, or you can use a language JavaScript. That should be like this. Okay. And you can write the script either in the head section or body section. When you write the script in the head section, first script will be executed, then body will be loaded. If you write the script at the body, first head section will be loaded and body will start some output, then the script will be executed. My suggestion, please try. My suggestion for you to go the JavaScript or scripting, you should write the scripts only after the body. That is my suggestion, because why you are writing the scripts? To change the content on the web pages or to change some styles, some actions. You're expecting some dynamic actions. Your page, the static page is going to be the HTML page. I mean the dynamic HTML page. So how could it be the dynamic HTML? Means when it have the support of some programming language in it. Yes. Now my web page is already integrating the JavaScript that can able to change the content between the elements, that can able to change the styles of an element, and it can add new elements, it can delete elements. Okay. So for that, first of all, I need to display some output. Then let the script start the working. First display the body. Suppose if you run the script first, if the script takes a lot of time to get executed, till then you'll not be getting any output from the body. The body cannot be able to show you the output till the script complete the execution. So first let the body to load the content, then start your script. Okay. So my suggestion is to write the scripts only after displaying the content. At least display some please wait message or like that. Okay. So some scripts like complex scripts would take lot of time to get execute. Those scripts should be loaded, preferably should be loaded at the bottom, but not at the top. I mean, but not at the head section, but only at the like a last but not least at the body, or even we can write the script after the body also. I mean within the closing of body and closing of HTML also we can write the scripts. Okay, so the modern markup will not support the don't need the type and language attributes. So okay, this is fine when you're writing the script internally. When if you'd like to load the scripts externally, you should have the attribute called src. Src means the source. So here you need to provide either relative URL or the absolute URL. Anything is fine, either relative or absolute. So you need to load the .js files from the relative URLs or absolute URLs. So the external JavaScript files will be having the extension as .js. .js means the JavaScript file. So the JavaScript file will not be executed by any software in your machine except by the web browser. Okay, and you should load the external JavaScript by the script tag. Okay, and then don't just forget to close the script. Don't forget to close the script tag. You should close the script tag for sure. So the script have been started and closed. So this is the way how we can load the external JavaScripts, and this is the way how we can write the scripts internally. Okay, just some alert. So this is a pop-up, an alert pop-up. Okay, by default web browser pop-up alert. So alert of some message means some text. So when if you load the web page, this alert box will be displayed. Okay, let me show you. Something system is hanging. So just create some text document. It's making a lot of disturbance. So first.html. Yes, of course, your page should be the HTML page only. HTML. Let it be the head here as it is. This time I don't write any script in the head section. Then start the body. Sorry, body. Yeah. Then let me write the script, the tag, script tag. And you know, I can show an alert message. Just save the program. Okay. Let me run this program. Immediately you'll be getting some alert box. Did you see that? Hello world. Okay. If you don't want to get this alerts, if you'd like to show the output at the console.log hello world, just press F12 button here. Now you'll be moving to the browser console. Yeah, let it be the console enabled here and refresh your page. See the hello world. Can you see the hello world here? Okay. And even you can write the expressions right here. You can write directly here also. So console.log of 2 plus 3, 2 plus 3, press enter button. See the output was 5. Okay. So even you can write some arbitrary code also here. Got it? So you have two ways to display the messages, either by alert or by the console log. So sometimes alert would be better and sometimes console log would be better. Okay. So this is the script internally, which works internally. Now let me create an external script, console.log of external script says hello. Let me save ext.js. Okay, the file extension would be .js and the file name is ext. So here is my external file. Let me load the external file after the script. So script src is equal to, what's the file name? ext.js, because both of them, the HTML file and the JS file, both of them are available at the same folder. That's why I'm just giving the file name here. So when they are in the different domains or in the different directories, you should provide either the relative or absolute. So I have just loaded the explicit file, external JavaScript file here. Refresh your web page. See, this hello world is from internal script and this is from external script. Got it? Yeah. Any questions? Doubts? And from external script, you should not write any script tag. So no more tags are allowed here in the JS file. The JS file purely that should consist of only the JavaScript syntax. I mean the JavaScript instructions. Only the JS instructions are allowed here, but not the script tags, but not the styles. So what are the styles tags that you're going to have that should be in the HTML page, but not in the JS page. See, actually the console.log was a statement. It was a statement regarding JavaScript. I just wrote that statement here. That's it. I'm not writing any script. I'm not writing any elements or attributes here. Just I'm writing a statement which is regarding JavaScript. That's it. Otherwise, you can have some alert also. Alert of 100. Refresh. Yeah, 100. This is from external script. Okay. For example, let me take a variable. I told you the variables can be declared by var keyword or let keyword. Refresh. See, there is an output of a variable. Now I just want to show the what is the value of x. I can just write here console.log of x, enter. So what's the value of x? 100. Very easy. Okay, I haven't shown the output at the source code, but just I'm writing this statement at the runtime. This is a runtime. Okay, and if you'd like to integrate the output of x at the program, you should write the console.log here. Then x is equal to plus x. So when you write it here, then no need to write the console.log at the runtime to show the output of x. Now x is 100. By default, it shows x is 100. If the output of x is not coming, so we'll be having a provision here that we can write the console.log as our wish, as per our requirement, to just check what is the value of that x right now. Okay. For example, I have already shown what is the value of x here. I'm just showing the value, what is the value of x. But after showing the value of x, the x is getting some update. Some operation is happening with the x. I just want to see what is the update. What is the updated value of x here? What is it? 101. So while running your script, you can just check what is the current updated value of that variable from the console. In this cases, the console is very good for any developer to check, to watch how the program is going to be happened at the runtime, or how the variables are getting changed after the particular functions. Okay, so this is the console, and similar to this, we'll be having a debugger also. The debugger also very good to debug the program. I'll speak about the debuggers after few days. First of all, need to finish some things here. Then we'll discuss the debugger. Everything we'll discuss. Okay, we don't leave any topic. We'll discuss every topic here. Yeah. Uh, any other things today? So that's all for today.